as it slammed open. Adrian, breathing hard, gun in one hand, blood at his side again. "Move," he said. I stared at the weapon. "No." His eyes cut to the windows, then back to me. "This is not the time. You don't get to order me around." Another shot. Closer. Glass shattered somewhere below. He crossed the room in 3 strides and grabbed my wrist. Not cruelly, but with a force that left no room for confusion. "Lena." The way he said my name stopped me cold. Not soft. Not sweet. Urgent. Almost furious with fear. "If they get to you before I explain, you won't live long enough to hate me properly." I went with him. Down a service stairwell behind the east wing. Through a narrow corridor hidden behind paneled walls. The estate had escape routes built into it, which told me everything I needed to know about the people who lived there. We reached a concrete garage beneath the house where engines were already turning over. 2 black cars. 4 armed men. Mara stood by the open rear door of one sedan, still holding her tablet like the world wasn't collapsing overhead. Her eyes landed on me, unreadable. "Sir," she said to Adrian, "the south gate is compromised. Then we don't use it." I yanked my wrist free. Compromised by who? He opened the car door and all but pushed me inside. "Get down." "No." "Lena." "No," I shoved at his chest this time, and he actually looked startled. "You do not get to drag me into gunfire, secret passages, and family warfare, and then keep speaking in riddles. Who are they?" His jaw locked. Mara answered instead. "Your uncle, Miss Marrow." I turned. My what? But the car lurched before she could say more. Adrian got in beside me, slammed the door, and shouted to the driver. We shot forward through a tunnel that opened onto a road carved into the cliffs behind the estate. Gunfire cracked behind us. I flinched. Adrian's arm came across me on instinct, pressing me lower in the seat as the rear window burst into sparkling shards. I should have hated the touch. Instead, every nerve in my body lit like a fuse. His hand spread over my shoulder, steadying me. Protective. Possessive. Terrible. "Stay down," he said. I swallowed hard. I said, "Don't touch me." Lie better. The nerve of him. The absolute nerve. But he moved his hand only when the shooting stopped. By the time we reached the highway, one of our escort vehicles was gone. I didn't ask what happened to it. I was too busy trying not to shake. We ended up at a private apartment in the city. 40 floors above the harbor, all glass and steel and impossible views. Another Vale property, of course. Another cage with better furniture. A doctor came and went. Security came and went. No one explained anything. At sunset, I stood in the kitchen staring at the skyline with a whiskey glass in my hand I hadn't remembered pouring. Adrian entered quietly behind me. Fresh shirt. New bandage. Same unreadable face. He looked exhausted. "Good. So," I said without turning, "let's try again." "My uncle." He walked past me to the counter and poured himself water. "Your mother had a brother." "I know that. He disappeared when I was 8. "No," Adrian said. "He was removed." I faced him slowly. "By whom?" He met my stare. "My family." The room went deadly still. I laughed once, because otherwise I might have screamed. "You say that like it's normal." In my world, it is. "There's your problem, Adrian. I'm not in your world." "Yes," he said. "You are." I slammed the glass down so hard it cracked. His gaze flicked to it, then back to me. "Start talking." And finally, he did. My uncle, Jonah Marrow, had been my grandfather's right hand in the shipping business before the family collapsed. But shipping was never just shipping on this coast. Not for men like the Vales. Not for old money families with private docks and public charities. There were legal empires, and then there were the shadows that built them. Jonah had done business with Victor Vale years ago. Illegal business. Dangerous business. The kind men disappear over. My mother had found out. Worse, she had tried to stop it. And somewhere in the middle of that war, Victor had decided the cleanest way to secure Marrow assets and silence the fallout was marriage. My mother to a Vale. Not Adrian. Too young then. Victor himself. The thought made my skin crawl. She refused, Adrian said. Obviously. His mouth tightened. You say that now. Back then, refusal came with consequences. I stared at him. Are you telling me my mother was threatened into a marriage alliance? I'm telling you she ran. That hit harder than I expected, because suddenly my mother made sense in a way she never had when she was alive. The fear, the unpredictability, the way she looked at beautiful things like they were traps. She escaped, I whispered. Yes. Then why stay in Blackthorn Bay? Because she believed your uncle had hidden something. Something Victor needed. My mind raced. Documents? An account ledger. Names. Routes. Offshore holdings. Enough to destroy men who built themselves above the law. I thought of the house. The old floorboards. The sealed attic. The boxes my mother never let me touch. A chill ran through me. You think it's in my house. I think your mother died before she could tell anyone where it was. I went very still. There it was. The sentence I had spent 3 years trying not to hear. My mother's death was ruled accidental. Adrian didn't answer. Was it? Still he said nothing. The silence told me everything. I stepped back. No. Lena. No, my voice broke. Don't stand there and look sorry now. His expression changed. Something fierce and pained flashing beneath the control. I wasn't there. But your family was. My uncle. Your family. That one landed. He looked away first. Good. I wanted him to hurt. I wanted somebody to hurt the way I suddenly did. I turned toward the window because if I kept looking at him, I might throw the broken glass instead of words. Why me? I asked. Why bring me here? Why not let your uncle search the house himself? He already did. I whipped around. What? Twice. Years ago. Quietly. Rage and nausea rose together. And now? Now someone believes you know where the ledger is. I don't. I know. Do you? I asked. Do you know anything about me that wasn't handed to you in a file? Something moved in his face. Not anger. Worse. Recognition. Because that question mattered. Because I had struck something true. You think I'm using you, he said. Aren't you? He was silent long enough to destroy me with it. Then, at first, yes. There are confessions that sound like gunshots. That was one. I laughed again. But this time it came out ragged. I knew it. I went to your house because I had reason to believe your uncle's people would move soon. I was supposed to confirm whether the ledger was there. By bleeding in my kitchen? That part wasn't planned. I stared at him. Horrified and humiliated and stupidly wounded by something I had no right to be wounded by. Because this was a stranger. A manipulative, dangerous stranger. So why did it feel like betrayal? Maybe because he had looked at me in the dark like I was real. Maybe because somewhere between the storm and the gunfire, some traitorous part of me had started believing I mattered to him beyond leverage. And now? I asked quietly. He stepped closer. Now you matter. I should have laughed in his face. Instead, my pulse betrayed me. I hated that too. You don't get to say things like that after admitting this started as a setup. I know. Do you? Yes. He was close enough now that I could see the fatigue under his eyes, the roughness in his voice, the restraint pulling every line of his body tight. I should never have gone to your house, he said. Finally, we agree on something. But I did. His gaze dropped briefly to my mouth, then returned to my eyes. And now I can't undo it. The room narrowed. That terrible awareness came back, stronger this time because now it had context. Danger. Betrayal. Attraction sharpened by both. I stepped away first. Find the ledger without me. I can't. Not my problem. It is if your uncle finds you first. I went cold. Stop calling him my uncle like that means anything. It means he's blood. So are you and Victor. His face hardened. Exactly. We searched my mother's old life the next morning. Not in the house. In memory. Adrian had people bring every box, letter, photograph, and file salvaged from storage after my mother died. Apparently his network had been quietly collecting pieces of my family's history for years. That realization should have shocked me. By then, it barely ranked. I sat at the long dining table surrounded by ghosts. My mother at 23 on a yacht, smiling too brightly. My grandfather with men I recognized from newspaper archives and charity galas. Property maps. Harbor permits. Holiday cards with false warmth curling at the edges. And one photograph that made my blood stop. My mother standing beside a younger Victor Vale. Her face tense. His hand at her waist. Not intimate. Possessive. I grabbed it so hard the corner bent. Adrian took it from my fingers carefully. I'm sorry. I'm tired of hearing that. He put the photo down. Good. Because if I looked at it 1 second longer, I was going to be sick. Hours passed. Nothing. Then, near dusk, I found an old music box in a carton of winter linens. Cheap thing. Painted roses. Broken hinge. I almost tossed it aside. Then I noticed the weight. Too heavy. My breath caught. I opened the base with a kitchen knife and found a folded packet sealed in wax. Adrian saw my face before he saw the packet. His entire body went still. This is it, I whispered. Maybe. Maybe not. But my mother had hidden something, and it had survived. I broke the seal with shaking fingers. Inside wasn't a ledger. Not exactly. It was a letter. In my mother's handwriting. Addressed to me. My vision blurred before I read the first line. Lena, if you found this, then the men I feared are close enough to hurt you. My knees nearly gave out. Adrian pulled out a chair behind me without a word. I ignored it and kept reading. My mother wrote that Jonah, my uncle, had betrayed her long before he vanished. He had been working with Victor, then against him, then only for himself. He had hidden evidence in pieces, scattered across properties and accounts, waiting for the right time to sell whichever side paid more. But there was one sentence that burned through everything else. Trust no marrow man. Not even the one who returns claiming blood. I looked up so fast the room blurred. Adrian's expression told me he had already reached the conclusion I had. My uncle wasn't dead. He was coming back. And if my mother's letter was right, he was worse than the Vales. That should have made choosing a side easier. It didn't. Because Adrian had still lied to me, still used me, still dragged me into a war built by men who treated women like collateral and love like a bargaining chip. I folded the letter carefully, breathing too fast. What else? Adrian asked. I read the rest in silence, then once aloud. Coordinates. A safety deposit key number. And a line in my mother's hand that shattered what remained of my control. The only good thing to come from the Vales was the boy who tried to help me once. If he ever comes to your door, he may not be able to save you, but he will regret failing. My voice broke on the last word. I looked up. Adrian had gone pale. You knew her, I whispered. Not business. Not files. Not family history. Knew her. His eyes held mine, and for the first time since the storm, I saw no mask at all. I was 17, he said. I heard enough to know Victor intended to force the marriage. I tried to help her leave. The room tilted again. She remembered you. Yes. And you came to my house because of her? Partly. The honesty hurt more than any lie, because it meant some piece of this had been real from the beginning. And that made everything harder. I rose too quickly, chair scraping the floor. I need air. Lena. Don't. I made it to the balcony before the first tear fell. I hated crying, hated the helplessness of it, the raw exposure. But grief isn't neat, and neither is rage. And somewhere below both of them was the unbearable ache of knowing my mother had spent half her life afraid while I called her difficult, secretive, impossible. The balcony door opened behind me. I didn't turn around. Go away. Adrian stayed where he was. Your mother was brave. I laughed wetly. You don't get to comfort me. No, he said. Probably not. The city stretched below us in 1,000 glittering lights. Somewhere in it, men were moving pieces on a board built from my family's rot. I wrapped my arms around myself. If my uncle comes back, what does he want? The same thing Victor wants. Control. And me. A pause. You, Adrian said carefully, are leverage. Legitimacy. The last marrow. That word sank deep. Leverage. Not woman. Not person. Not daughter. Asset. I closed my eyes. Then I asked the question I should have asked the first night. And what do you want? He was quiet long enough that I turned. His face was unreadable again. That should have comforted me. Instead it terrified me. Justice, he said. I believed him. That was the problem. Because men chasing justice often look an awful lot like men chasing power. And sometimes, by the time they understand the difference, they've already destroyed everything they meant to save. The bank box was in my mother's maiden name. Of course it was. Only the oldest downtown branch still had physical vault access, hidden behind polished brass and discreet men in tailored suits who recognized Adrian on sight and pretended not to. Money teaches silence better than fear does. I wore dark sunglasses and a coat I'd borrowed from one of Adrian's staff, though neither disguise could hide the fact that my pulse was loud enough to echo. We went in alone. That was his compromise. He wanted security at our heels. I refused. So his men waited outside while Adrian and I descended into the vault together. Two liars linked by my mother's secrets and the kind of tension that made every breath feel like a decision. The box slid open with a soft metallic click. Inside was a flash drive, a ring, and a photograph of me as a child on my mother's lap, both of us laughing at something beyond the frame. That photograph almost broke me more than the rest, because my mother must have placed it there herself. Not as evidence, not as leverage, just as proof of what all this had been for. Me. I picked up the ring first. Heavy gold. Black stone. Engraved crest. Vale. I looked at Adrian. He stared at it like it had crawled out of a grave. That was Victor's father's signet, he said. Why would my mother keep it? She wouldn't. The answer came too fast. Too sure. I understood then. This belonged to the man she almost married, I said. Adrian's jaw tightened. Yes. A strange, bitter jealousy moved through me before I could stop it, and I hated myself for it instantly. I was standing in a bank vault holding the relic of the man who terrorized my mother, and somehow my body still found room to ache over the thought of Adrian connected to old family sins. Human beings are disgusting like that. We make room for desire in the middle of disaster. I reached for the flash drive. Adrian caught my wrist. Wait. I looked up sharply. For what? If this is what I think it is, the second we access it, people will know. That's convenient for the men already trying to kill us. His hand remained around my wrist a second too long. Warm. Firm. Infuriating. Then he let go. Back upstairs in a private office, Adrian inserted the drive into an encrypted laptop while I paced. The files loaded. Shipping manifests. Offshore account transfers. Correspondence. Dates. Payoffs. Shell companies. Routes. And names. So many names. Politicians, judges, port authorities, corporate boards. The Vales hadn't merely been protected. They had been woven into the city's foundations. This can't just be handed to the police, I whispered. No, because they're in it too. Yes. A hollow laugh left me. Fantastic. Adrian scrolled silently, then stopped. His entire face changed. I moved beside him and saw why. A payment ledger from 18 years ago. A line item attached to my mother's name. Not a bribe. A contract. My vision tunneled. No. Adrian read faster, his voice flattening in disbelief. It lists terms for a marriage settlement, property transfer, porch shares, debt absorption. I said no. But there it was. My mother's life, priced and itemized. And lower down another name. Jonah Marrow. Beneficiary. I stared at the screen until the letters blurred. My own uncle had helped sell her. The rage that hit me then was so pure, so blinding. I had to grip the desk to stay upright. Adrian closed the file and turned toward me, but I stepped back before he could touch me. Don't. Lena. Don't. My voice was shaking now, badly, because grief is one thing, betrayal is another. But discovering your family didn't just fail to protect the women in it. They traded them. That changes the architecture of your soul. I laughed again, sharp and broken. All this time I thought my mother was just damaged, difficult, unstable, and she was carrying this. She carried more than she should have had to. Something in me snapped. Stop sounding noble, Adrian. He flinched. Good. You keep standing there like you're different. I stepped closer. Like your hands are somehow cleaner because you regret what your family did. I never said that. No. You just show up in my life pretending protection erases manipulation. His eyes darkened. I told you the truth. After you lied. Yes. After you used me. Yes. The rawness of that answer stole my next line. He looked wrecked. Not guilty in the shallow way men perform when they want forgiveness. Ruined in a quieter way. Like he knew exactly what he had done and hated himself for the precision of it. I should have enjoyed that. Instead, I was tired. So tired. What happens now? I asked. He glanced at the laptop. Now your uncle knows we have something. How? Because he set a trap in the metadata. He wanted whoever found it to expose themselves. I stared. So we walked right into this. Yes. I threw up my hands. Wonderful. His phone buzzed. One look at the screen and every line of his body sharpened. Say it. My security detail outside just disappeared. The air left the room. Adrian moved instantly, closing the laptop, pocketing the drive, scanning exits. I backed toward the wall. You said alone would be safer. It was until now. That is not comforting. He went to the office door, listened, then cursed softly. Too quiet. Adrian. He turned, crossed the room, and took my face in both hands before I could react. The world stopped. I mean that literally. Everything stopped. My anger. My breathing. The sound of my own thoughts. His thumbs hovered just beneath my cheekbones, careful and shaking with restraint. Not domination. Not calculation. Need. Listen to me, he said, voice low and rough. When I tell you to run, you don't argue. You don't look back. You survive. My heart slammed once, violently. Why? I whispered. Does it sound like goodbye? His gaze dropped to my mouth again. And then, because timing has always hated me, the office window exploded inward. He shoved me down. Gunfire tore through glass and wood and air. We hit the floor together. His body covered mine before I could think. Heat and weight and violence all at once. I heard shouting outside the office. Heard boots. Heard Adrian's gun answer back. Then silence. Dead silence. He lifted his head slightly, listening. I was pinned beneath him, breathless, every inch of me aware of his chest against mine. The scent of smoke and clean linen and danger. He looked down. I looked up. And there it was again. The terrible, impossible truth neither of us had any business touching. I wanted him. God help me, I wanted him. Not because he was safe. Because he wasn't. Because he saw the worst parts of me and stayed anyway. Because every time he tried to step back, fate shoved us closer. Because I was furious with him, terrified of him, and somehow still more alive around him than I had felt in years. He seemed to understand all of that at once. Maybe because he felt it too. His forehead almost touched mine. You should hate me, he said. I do. The answer came too fast. His mouth twitched once. Pain, not amusement. I know. My hand curled into the front of his shirt before I could stop it. His breath caught. Then footsteps thundered outside, and the moment broke apart like it had never existed. He got us out through the service stairwell. Again. Everything in his life had escape routes. We changed vehicles twice before dusk. By nightfall we were in a safe house outside the city, tucked among pine trees and silence. Smaller place. Rustic. Anonymous. Impossible to connect to the Vale empire from the road. I stood in the narrow kitchen while Adrian checked windows and locks with the mechanical focus of a man one breath away from collapse. Finally I said, "Did you ever love anyone?" The question surprised both of us. He looked over slowly. "What? Answer it." He leaned against the counter, tired enough now that some of the steel left his posture. "Why?" "Because men who grow up in families like yours usually confuse possession with love." A muscle jumped in his jaw. "You think that's what this is?" "This?" I laughed softly. "I don't know what this is." Neither of us moved. The safe house lamp cast warm light across the room. Too warm for the way my chest felt. Too intimate. He answered at last. "No. No, you never loved anyone." "No," he said, gaze fixed on me. I never confused it. The room lost oxygen. That was the problem with Adrian. He never wasted words, so the few he gave landed like blades. I looked away first. "Coward." "Your turn," he said. I wrapped my arms around myself. I was engaged once. He went still. It ended badly. I assumed. I gave him a flat look. "You assume a lot." "I'm usually right." That must be exhausting. For other people. Despite everything, a weak laugh escaped me. His face softened. Barely. Enough to make my pulse trip. "My fiancé," I said, liked compliant women. Not strong ones. He liked using my grief to make me feel unstable, then calling it concern. By the end, I apologized for moods he created. Adrian's expression darkened with frightening speed. What was his name? I almost smiled. Why? I'm deciding whether to ruin him financially or physically. The fact that he sounded genuinely thoughtful should have scared me. Instead, warmth flickered in the hollowed-out place beneath my ribs. "That is deeply unhealthy," I said. "Yes." But he didn't take it back. The silence that followed changed shape. Not safer. More honest. I don't know who moved first. I only know that 1 second we were standing on opposite sides of the kitchen, and the next his hand was at my waist and my back was against the counter, and his mouth was on mine. It wasn't gentle. It wasn't careful. It was restraint finally giving up. Weeks of fear and fury and unsaid things crashed into that kiss. So hard I forgot my own name. He kissed like a man starving with full knowledge that hunger made him dangerous. Like he hated himself for wanting me, and wanted me anyway. I kissed him back with equal bad judgment, because I was tired of pretending I didn't feel it. Tired of being the only one in pain. Tired of letting powerful men define the rules of intimacy while women stood there pretending not to burn. His hand tightened at my waist. Mine rose to his face, then his neck. He made a low, wrecked sound that went straight through me. When he pulled back, both of us were breathing too hard. His forehead rested against mine. "This is a mistake," he said. "Yes." I kissed him again. He swore softly against my mouth. Then he stopped. Actually stopped. Stepped back. I stared at him, dazed and furious. "Don't do that." His chest rose and fell once. "If I touch you again tonight, I won't stop." The raw honesty of that sent heat through me so fast I had to grip the counter. He looked at me like the effort of restraint was physically costing him. "Get some sleep," he said hoarsely, and turned away before I could answer. I stood there shaking long after he left the kitchen. Not because of the kiss. Because I already knew one terrible thing for certain. If Adrian Vale betrayed me again, it would not be my life that broke first. It would be my heart. And I was beginning to suspect that was the most dangerous outcome of all. I woke to the smell of smoke. Not fire. Coffee. For one disoriented second, I forgot where I was. Then memory returned all at once. Gunfire. Files. My mother's letter. Adrian's mouth on mine. and I nearly rolled off the bed just trying to sit up. Voices drifted in from the other room. Male. Unfamiliar. I reached for the lamp again because apparently household objects were my chosen weapons now. When I stepped into the living area, Adrian was standing by the table with two men I didn't know and one I did. Victor. I froze. Every nerve in my body turned to wire. Victor looked immaculate, of course. Tailored black coat, silver tie, not a hair out of place. Men like him never show the blood, only the polish bought with it. Adrian saw me and his face changed instantly. Not softer, sharper, protective. Why is he here? I asked. Victor gave me a lazy smile. Good morning to you too. Answer me. Adrian's gaze stayed on mine. He says Jonah contacted him. My pulse stumbled. My uncle. Victor's expression soured slightly. You may stop sounding surprised. Blood has a terrible habit of resurfacing. I stepped farther into the room, refusing to show fear though it climbed my spine anyway. And now you two are working together? Temporarily, Victor said. Adrian's voice cut through like a blade. No, we are not. Something ugly flickered between them. I believed Adrian on that one. Barely. Victor set an envelope on the table. Jonah wants an exchange. Every part of me went cold. What exchange? Victor looked at me, then at Adrian, and smiled. You. I laughed because the alternative was throwing the coffee pot at his face. Absolutely not. He believes you have the drive, Victor said. He's willing to trade information for you. Adrian stepped forward. He doesn't get within a mile of her. Victor lifted a brow. There it is. The part where this stops being strategy and starts being personal. The room tightened. Adrian's voice dropped. Leave. Victor's smile vanished. Careful. No, Adrian said. You be careful. And there it was again. That dark voltage between them. Old and vicious and intimate in the way only family hatred can be. Victor looked at me with sudden sharp interest. Has he told you why he hates me? Do I need another reason? That almost won a real laugh. Almost. Victor turned back to Adrian. She has your taste for insolence. And you have a gift for overstaying, Adrian said. Victor's face cooled. Jonah was not acting alone 18 years ago. He had help inside this family. I watched Adrian carefully. He didn't react. That told me he already knew, or suspected. Victor continued. You want the full list of names exposed? Meet Jonah. Otherwise this dies in pieces. He left the envelope and walked out. The silence afterward was brutal. One of Adrian's men shut the door. I stared at the envelope like it might explode. Well, I said. Adrian didn't move. Open it. He did. Inside was a photograph taken that morning. My house. Front porch. And pinned to the door with a knife. Another photograph. My mother. I went numb. Jonah had been to the house. Recently enough to know we were looking. Message received. Adrian muttered. I took the photo from his hand. On the back, in black ink, were 6 words. Bring the girl. Come alone. I swallowed hard. We're not doing this. His eyes snapped to mine. Correct. I waited, then realized what he meant. You've already decided. Yes. Rage flared instantly. Without me. With your life on the table, yes. It's my life. And my responsibility. I stared at him in disbelief. Excuse me. He stepped closer, voice low. You are alive because I inserted myself into this. That makes it mine to finish. Something in me recoiled. Not from the protectiveness, from the ownership hiding beneath it. There it is, I said softly. His brow furrowed. What? The Vale in you. The words hit. I saw it. You think protecting me gives you the right to decide for me. That's not what I said. It's exactly what you meant. He exhaled hard through his nose, reining something in. Lena, this is not a debate. And that was the wrong sentence. The exact wrong one. Because suddenly I wasn't in a safe house with Adrian. I was 24 in an apartment kitchen with my ex-fiancé calmly telling me I was too emotional to make decisions about my own future. I was 12 hearing men discuss my mother in low voices behind half-closed doors like she wasn't standing 3 rooms away. I was every version of myself that powerful men had mistaken for manageable. I stepped back. No. His face changed immediately. That's not what I meant. Yes, it is. He came toward me. I held up a hand. Don't. The room had gone silent. Even his men knew enough to disappear. This is not control, he said carefully. This is threat assessment. That's a nicer phrase for the same disease. Lena, I am not collateral. I am not leverage. And I am not some wounded thing you get to lock in a room while men decide my value. His jaw tightened. That is not how I see you. Then stop acting like it. For a second I thought he might shout. Instead, he went eerily calm. Fine, he said. That scared me more. Fine. I repeated. You want in. His eyes were dark now. Hard. Then you hear all of it. Your uncle wants you because he believes blood legitimizes whatever story comes next. If he gets you on camera, alive and cooperative, he can bury the drive and rebuild himself as the rightful marrow heir restoring family assets stolen by the Vales. I stared. He kept going. And if he can't use you, he'll use your death. My mouth went dry. He stepped closer. Now tell me again this is about autonomy, and not the simple fact that you still think being brave can outrun men like him. That one hurt because some of it was true. I hated him for being the one to say it. I'm not stupid. No, he said. You're angry. The silence that followed was all sharp edges. Finally I said, what's the rest? His eyes held mine. Jonah also asked for the signet ring. I frowned. Why? Because if he has it, he can prove Victor's father made the original arrangement. That gives him leverage over everyone still alive who signed off on it. I thought of the ring in the vault box. The black stone. The family crest. A symbol. A weapon. Then we use it, I said. Adrian looked at me for a long moment, and I knew I had won. Not because he liked the idea, because he already hated how right it was. The meeting point was an abandoned dry dock at the edge of the old industrial quarter. Of course it was. Men built empires and buried sins in places that smelled like rust and salt. Adrian fought me all afternoon, though never with the honesty of outright refusal. He tried strategy, logistics, alternate routes, decoys. I answered every one of them. By sunset he was furious, which meant he was scared. That realization should have comforted me. It didn't. We drove in separate cars. His team invisible but near. Jonah wanted Adrian alone with me. Jonah was not getting what he wanted. The dock was all broken metal and echoing water. A single hanging lamp swung from the ceiling beam above the center platform. Beyond it, harbor blackness stretched into night. He stepped into the light smiling. Older than the last photographs. Broader. Grayer. Still handsome in the dangerous way men become when their charm survives the collapse of their conscience. My mother's brother. My uncle. My blood. I hated him instantly. Lena, he said, and his voice held genuine warmth that made my skin crawl. You have her face. Don't say that. His smile thinned. Adrian stood half a step in front of me. Not enough to hide me. Enough to promise violence. You wanted a meeting, Adrian said. Talk. Jonah's gaze moved between us and brightened, with ugly amusement. So the rumors are true. There are no rumors, Adrian said. Not yet, Jonah replied. Just history repeating itself. A Vale man, a Marrow woman, and both too arrogant to see the trap. I stepped around Adrian before he could stop me. You sold my mother. The words rang out harder than I intended. Jonah's expression changed. Not guilt. Annoyance. She was always dramatic. Something inside me went black. I moved before I thought. The slab cracked through the dock so loudly even the water seemed to flinch. Jonah stared at me. Slowly, he touched his cheek. Then he laughed. A low, delighted sound. There she is. Adrian's hand closed around my arm, pulling me back behind him, but I barely felt it. I could still taste my own rage. Jonah's eyes glittered. Your mother should have let men do what men do best. Business. She should have watched you bleed out in the harbor, I said. That wiped the smile off his face. Good. Now we were speaking the same language. Give me the ring, he said. Adrian didn't move. Jonah clicked his tongue. Such distrust. You brought snipers, Adrian said. Of course I did. You brought more. The air shifted. So he knew. Maybe he had known the whole time. Maybe every man here believed himself to be the cleverest in a room full of liars. Jonah looked at me again. You really don't know, do you? Adrian's body tightened. My pulse kicked. Know what? Jonah smiled. That smile will haunt me until I die. Your mother was pregnant before she ran. Silence. No. No. I couldn't breathe. He kept talking. Victor wasn't sure whose child it was. That was part of the problem. Everything inside me stopped. My skin went cold. Then hot. Then nothing. I heard Adrian say my name, but it sounded far away. Jonah tilted his head. Didn't he tell you? How disappointing. I looked at Adrian. His face had gone white. And I knew. Not the whole truth, but enough. Enough to realize there was one thing he had still kept from me. You knew, I whispered. He stepped toward me. Lena, listen to me. You knew. Jonah laughed again. Well, there's the betrayal. My chest caved in. All at once, every tender moment twisted. Every confession. Every kiss. Had he come to my house because my mother remembered him? Or because he thought I might be his family too? My stomach turned. Is he my father? I heard myself ask, and even now I can't believe that voice was mine. Not Adrian. Victor. A monster I had spent 3 days learning to hate. Adrian's eyes burned into mine. I don't know. You suspected. Yes. The dock spun. Because that was worse somehow. Not certainty. Possibility. The kind that poisons everything. I backed away from both of them. From all of them. Jonah spread his hands. There. Now you understand why you matter. He reached into his coat and pulled out a folder. DNA records, he said lightly. Partial. Old. Enough to raise questions. Enough to destroy reputations. Adrian drew his weapons so fast the sound barely registered. Jonah's men answered from the shadows. In 1 second the dock became a loaded heartbeat. Give me the folder, Adrian said. Jonah's smile vanished. Trade me the drive and the ring. I should have let the men play their game. I should have stayed behind Adrian. Instead, I saw red. I saw my mother. I saw contracts and silences, and all the years she carried terror alone. And I realized something simple and savage. Every man in front of me wanted to own her story. No one wanted her truth. So I moved. I grabbed the hanging lamp and hurled it into the oil-dark water below the platform. Darkness swallowed the dock. Gunfire erupted. Chaos. Men shouting. Someone grabbed me. I swung blind, hit a jaw, ran. I heard Adrian yelling my name over the shots. I heard Jonah cursing. I heard boots on steel behind me. Then a hand caught mine. Adrian. He dragged me behind a rusted crate as bullets slammed into metal. Are you insane? He shouted. Yes. For one wild second, even there, with death inches away, his mouth almost curved. Then he pressed the folder into my hand. I stared. How did you? No time. Move. We ran. The dock exploded into light as his backup team breached from both sides. Men surfaced from shadow like ghosts with rifles. Jonah's people fired back. Victor's men, somehow, were there too. Of course they were. A family war with spectators. At the edge of the platform Jonah emerged. Gun raised, not at Adrian. At me. I saw it before anyone else did. Maybe because blood recognizes where to strike deepest. There was no time to think. Then Adrian stepped in front of me. The shot hit him high in the chest. The sound that left me did not sound human. Jonah looked almost surprised. Then Victor's men brought him down. Not dead. Pinned. Shouting. But I saw none of it clearly because Adrian was falling and I was catching him and blood was everywhere. Hot through my fingers, and all I could think was no, not like this, not after all this, not after I finally. He hit the ground hard, dragging me with him. His face was already losing color. Stay with me, I said, though I was the one coming apart. His hand found mine, slick with his blood. Lena. No. Don't speak. His mouth moved anyway. I'm sorry. I bent over him, shaking. Shut up. His eyes held mine with terrible clarity. For all of it. Something broke open in me then. Completely. Irreversibly. Because he meant it. Because whatever else Adrian Vale had done, whatever lies he had told or truths he had delayed, this was real. This. The blood. The choice. The way he had stepped in front of a bullet meant for me without hesitation. I know, I whispered. And it was the first kind thing I had said to him without fighting myself first. Sirens wailed in the distance. Voices surged around us. But all I could hear was his breathing getting thinner beneath my hands. And for the first time since the storm, regret changed shape. I no longer regretted opening the door. I regretted that I might lose the man who walked through it. He lived. Barely. 3 words. Months of feeling. He lived. The surgery took 6 hours. The wait took 6 years off my life. The hospital suite had a private floor, private guards, private elevators, because of course it did. The Vales bought privacy the way normal people buy aspirin. Victor arrived once during the night. I nearly clawed his eyes out. Not metaphorically. Actually. He stopped 3 feet from me in the waiting area and looked, for the first time, older than power had ever allowed him to. Sit down, Miss Marrow. Die. A faint sigh. Understandable. I stood so fast my chair nearly toppled. Your family did this. Jonah did this. Your father, your brother, your empire, pick a poison. I'm fresh out of distinctions. That, strangely, silenced him. He studied me for a long moment, then said, Adrian hated this family long before he hated me. I laughed bitterly. Comforting. He was not raised to be gentle. No, I said. He had to become it. Victor actually looked struck by that. Good. Let it hurt. By dawn. Jonah was in custody, not publicly. Not yet. Men like that don't get handcuffs until enough richer men decide they're disposable. The drive had gone to multiple journalists, foreign investigators, and one retired judge my mother once trusted. Adrian's contingency plan, apparently. He had built a dead man's switch into the files after the bank ambush. Of course he had. He expected betrayal from every angle, including death. The scandal broke in layers over the next 2 days. Not all at once. Men with power never fall all at once. First the Port Authority resignations. Then the offshore leaks. Then the archived marriage contracts tied to coercive property transfers, including the one with my mother's name half buried, and impossible to dismiss once the ring authenticated it. By the 3rd day, the city was feeding on the Vales like wolves. I should have enjoyed that more. But Adrian still hadn't woken up. Nothing tastes like victory when the person you want to hand it to is unconscious. On the 4th night, I sat beside his bed reading my mother's letter for the 100th time. The machines made soft, indifferent sounds. His face looked wrong in stillness. Too young somehow. Too human without the armor. I touched his hand carefully. I hate you, I told him softly. My throat tightened, which is inconvenient, because I stopped there. Because saying love to an unconscious man felt too close to prayer, and I wasn't ready to know if I still believed in anything that listened. His fingers moved. I froze. Then his eyes opened. Slowly. Blurry at first. Then searching. Then finding me. There you are. I swear that's what it felt like. There you are. I laughed and cried at the same time, which was humiliating. But by then pride was one more thing I no longer had energy to maintain. You look terrible, I whispered. His mouth moved. No sound. I leaned closer. Again. His voice came out rough as broken glass. Still here? I stared at him. That's what you say. A weak hint of that impossible almost smile. You're difficult to get rid of. I put my forehead against his hand and let myself break for exactly 5 seconds. When I looked up, his eyes were on me in that same unbearable way. Too steady, too seeing. How bad, he asked. Scandal. Arrests. Asset seizures. The city is chewing through your family tree one branch at a time. Victor. Alive. Furious. Politically radioactive. His eyes closed briefly in relief or exhaustion. Maybe both. Jonah. Still talking. Mostly to save himself. He nodded once. Then, after a silence. And you? The question undid me more than everything else. Because he meant it. After all of it, he meant me. I laughed wetly. I'm a disaster. Expect it. I gave him a look so offended. He actually managed the smallest real smile. God. That smile. No fair. Not after nearly dying. I sat back in the chair and crossed my arms. You still owe me answers. Yes. You still manipulated me. Yes. You also took a bullet for me, which is extremely inconvenient for my anger. He looked at me for a long second. Then, quietly, I love you. I forgot how to breathe. There was no build-up. No performance. Pain. Not physical. The other kind. We found the full records, he said. Victor isn't your father. The air left my lungs. Who? He held my gaze. No one on that contract. Your mother was already pregnant when Jonah made the arrangement. She never named him. A strange, shaking relief moved through me. Not because uncertainty vanished. Because one horror had. Victor was not my blood. The Vales were not in my veins. Just in my history. Just in my scars. Just in the man I had somehow, impossibly, fallen in love with. I'm sorry, Adrian said. I let out a long breath. For once, I'm not. The weeks that followed were ugly in the way healing usually is. There was no clean ending. Only fallout. Victor survived the scandal by sacrificing everything with his name on it and disappearing from public view. Jonah was indicted under enough separate investigations that even his charm finally failed him. The Marrow estate, what little remained that hadn't been devoured by debt and deals, came back to me through a legal storm I barely understood and didn't particularly care about. People called me brave. That made me laugh. Brave is just what broken women get called when they survive what should have ended them. I sold the old house. Not because I was ashamed of it, because I was done living inside my mother's fear. I kept the porch swing. That's not poetic. It was just still good wood. Adrian recovered slowly. Men like him hate recovery. It demands stillness and humility and trusting other people to carry weight they're used to owning alone. I visited every day. At first, because guilt is a stubborn thing. Then, because I missed him when I left. Then, because leaving started feeling less like returning to my life and more like stepping away from it. 3 months later, he took me to the coast at sunset. Not the estate. That place was sold. Burned out morally long before the market noticed. This was a smaller house farther north. All weathered cedar and seagrass and quiet. No gates. No visible guards. No ghosts in the walls that belonged to other people. He stood beside me on the bluff. One hand in his coat pocket, the other still marked faintly by the scar where he had grabbed mine the night we ran from the dock. I have something for you, he said. I'm nervous already. He handed me a folder. I opened it slowly. Property deed. My name. I looked up sharply. What is this? The harbor lot your grandfather lost. The legal title just cleared. I stared at him. You bought it. I reclaimed it. That is still buying it with extra ego. His mouth twitched. Lena. I looked at the deed, then back at him. Why? Because it was yours before men made it a weapon. My throat tightened. There he was again. The man beneath the power. The one who kept trying, in all the wrong ways and some very right ones, to give back what had been taken. I folded the papers carefully. Thank you. He stepped closer, sea wind moving through his dark hair. There's more. Oh no. His eyes held mine. No more secrets. Simple words. Heavy promise. No more secrets. I believed him. That was the twist, if you're looking for one. Not that the stranger on my porch was dangerous. He was. Not that letting him stay changed my life. It did. Not even that I regretted it. I did. At first, I regretted the fear. The blood. The lies. The way he tore open everything I had built to keep myself numb and safe. But time has a cruel sense of humor. Because what I regret now is smaller and sharper. I regret every moment I almost mistook love for a threat just because power had always worn that face before. I regret how long it took me to understand that protection and control are not the same thing, but they can look terrifyingly similar when you've only ever been caged. I regret that my mother never got this ending. A choice. A truth. A man willing to bleed rather than own her. I stepped into Adrian's space until I could feel his breath on my face. Do you remember what you said the first night? I asked. His hands settled lightly at my waist. I said many terrible things. I almost smiled. You said I should sleep. That was good advice. You also said I should hate you. His gaze darkened. Do you? I thought about the storm. The blood on the porch. The car at the drive. The kiss in the safe house. The dock. The hospital. My mother's letter. My own ugly, bruised heart somehow still capable of choosing tenderness after all this. Then I answered honestly. No. His exhale shook slightly. There it was again. Restraint. All these months later. Still cracked by me. I let a stranger stay the night. I said softly. And yes, I regretted it. A shadow crossed his face. Then I touched it away. But not for the reason I thought. He searched my eyes like he was afraid to hope. I kissed him before he could ask. Slowly this time. No gunfire. No blood. No panic chasing us through the dark. Just the sea below and the wind and a man who had started as my worst decision and become the only future that didn't feel like surviving. When I pulled back, his forehead rested against mine. What reason? He asked. I smiled. Small and wrecked and real. Because once I opened the door, I said, there was no going back to the woman who thought being untouched meant being safe. His hands tightened at my waist, reverent and unsteady. And somewhere beneath us, the tide kept dragging old things out to sea. That's the truth I was trying to tell you. Not that strangers are always monsters. Sometimes they are. Not that dangerous men can be saved by love. Most of them cannot. But sometimes the worst night of your life is only the beginning because it shatters the lie you've been living inside. Sometimes regret is just grief for the person you were before the fire. And sometimes, if you are very unlucky, very stubborn, and very alive, the man bleeding on your porch in the middle of a storm turns out to be the one who teaches you the final difference between fear and fate. So yes, I let a stranger stay the night. And for a while, I regretted it. Until I realized the real tragedy would have been never opening the door at all.